Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this video that I've been thinking about for a really long time. Something that's been on my noggin, as one of our favorites would say. Am I the hypocrite? No, really. Not even asking for a friend. I might be the hypocrite. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the makeup community in regards to indie makeup and indie makeup creators and like growing with or growing out of the community. And we're gonna chat about that in this video. And if you haven't been here before, please do consider subscribing. I do love makeup and beauty and I try to upload at least 5 videos a week talking all about makeup and especially colorful things and especially indie makeup. So that's what we're gonna do today. And if that sounds interesting, I would love to see you again. So I've just recently started a low buy on my channel where I'm trying to have a better balance between new things and old things. So in this video, I'm gonna do a full face of favorites, stuff that I've already reviewed, stuff that I really love. So if you're interested in seeing what that is, it's gonna be down in the description box because I don't think I'm gonna be talking that much about the makeup as I'm applying it. But I also wanna have like a good mix between like old favorites and also discovering new favorites. So we're gonna do one first impression, and that is the So Strange palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. I did get sent this as PR. This is what it looks like. Actually, I'll pull up some swatches and like a close-up as we're talking about this because I did receive this palette quite recently and I really want to use this in today's makeup video. I want to get back to my own creativity of creating looks and doing videos that's not necessarily just dedicated videos about the new. But I want to say Unearthly Cosmetics is one of my favorite indie brands, and maybe I'll film a video like the best palettes from each indie brand or something like that. Just something to be like a starter for you if you want to get into indie brands, and Unearthly Cosmetics is one of my favorites and I do have a code with them. My code is Angelica if you want to order and get 10% off your order. So I'm super excited. I've actually swatched, as I'm filming this, I did swatch 2 of these shimmers because I wanted to make sure which one I'm going to be using. So this is the only first impression that we're doing in this video. All of the other things are stuff that's like oldies but goodies. So let me zoom in and let me start with my base makeup and we can talk about me catching myself being a hypocrite. I swear. So here's the thing. I've been on YouTube for 7 years and I feel like I talk a lot about like my YouTube journey and like stuff that I have discovered throughout being on YouTube, because this video is going to be stuff that I've realized that maybe I lost with like getting bigger on YouTube and making this my career. Because for the first 5 years of YouTube, this wasn't my job. This was just like, you know, my hobby, a side gig, something that I was just doing as fun. On the side, I was doing my normal day-to-day like desk job, like I was in an office. But I realized there are certain things where when I was a smaller YouTuber, there are certain things where I was like, you know, complaining with the somewhat bigger YouTubers, my size or bigger, because I don't think that I'm a big YouTuber, but I already discovered some of these things that I was complaining about when I was a smaller YouTuber. And I did do a video about that some time ago. Maybe I'll do another one. Do you want to see another one where I'm like just talking about stuff that I thought was ridiculous with bigger YouTubers, but now that I have YouTube as a job, I understand all of it. Like I understand why some things are the way they are. Let me know if you would like to see that. I want to like name these videos where I talk about the community and when I talk about the makeup industry. I want to name like, I want to have like a playlist. If you have any good suggestions of what I can name the playlist, please let me know. But what I want to talk about in this video is actually a little bit of an extension of a video that I did like some weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago maybe, where I was talking about the indie makeup community and like why it is the way it is. And I was basically like reaching somewhat of the conclusion. I will leave that video down below because I thought it was a good video about like everything is growing, like things are getting bigger, including the indie brands, and they are catching some of the drama or catching some of the problems or some of the obstacles that bigger brands had. And then I started thinking, some of the indie brands before my time, because I remember when Too Faced got bought out, for example. I remember when Too Faced got bought out by, was it Estee Lauder, right? Wait, I'm gonna move back a little bit. I feel like I was like in the mirror. And they got bought out by Estee Lauder, and I feel like we forget that some of the mainstream brands that we know of today, such as Too Faced, used to be an indie brand and used to be sold at like salons and smaller makeup shops. Because I remember the first time I was in LA and I got into, not Sephora, some other makeup shop, and I saw a Too Faced stand and I was like, oh my god, this is so exciting. I've never seen this brand in my life. And I bought an eyeshadow from them, a small single of a bright green, like this kind of a color that's in this palette, this kind of a color, this like green, but metallic. And I remember it was something called Clover, Lucky Clover? I don't remember, but it was like a bright green metallic, and I remember buying that single shadow and thinking like, oh, I'm so excited that I was able to try out a brand that I've never seen before, which is how most of us feel about indie brands, buying from brands that we don't find at like Sephora or Ulta, trying out new and fun stuff. Wait, let me get a little bit more coverage here. Trying out new and fun stuff that's like not in everyone's reach, stuff that not everyone knows about, because there's this little satisfaction about, you know, knowing about something that not everyone knows about. There's something satisfying about being in the know about this like underground cool hip brand that nobody knows about, and then they grow and then they become mainstream, and then they become Too Faced, and a lot of the brands have gone in this direction. And this is what I talked about in this other video, like Melt, and some brands disappear like Coastal Scents or Makeup Geek, and some brands grow like Melt and become Sephora brands and are now seen as more mainstream brands. And I thought it was really interesting because the more I thought of this, because for me, I was thinking like, so where are those small fun brands? Now everyone is starting out big, and all these influencer brands and brands are coming straight into Sephora and straight into Ulta. And then I was like, Angie, you're such a dum-dum. Now you're the hypocrite. Now you're the bigger influencer that keeps saying there are no fun new brands, but it's because you're not looking. You're not looking. You're the one that's now browsing Sephora and Ulta. You're the one like buying the mainstream brands. You're the one reviewing the indie brands that are already known because you're like, oh, that's gonna give the views, or that's gonna give like the kickback that I am looking for. Not in like selling products, because like I've said before, affiliate link money, it's not really my main source of income. When you do use my links and my codes, it really does help out. But for me, my viewership is my currency. So I was thinking, wait, am I the hypocrite? Because I'm not looking for new fun brands. And I remember when I was like when I was smaller, when viewership wasn't as important, because of course this was a hobby. Because getting 1,000 views back then, that was like, oh my god, this is so amazing, 1,000 views. But 1,000 people searching for a small obscure indie brand, that's not that hard. But for someone that is of a bigger scale on YouTube, 1,000 views isn't really what you are looking for. You're looking for more views than that from a video. And I remember buying from some of these, let's be honest, homemade brands, and being super excited about finding something small and new. And I was like, maybe this is the new up and up. And there are definitely some brands that I have discovered as they were in the starting phases, that have grown, that I have been with from the almost absolute get-go, like Juvia's Place, for example. I've reviewed Juvia's Place for a really long time on my channel, and maybe that's also why I sometimes have a hard time letting them go. Even though they get into drama, I still want to be the person that's like giving them another chance, you know, watching them grow and learn and being better, because I have been reviewing them for so many years. And not that I know anyone on the brand, because I definitely do not, but I want them to be better. Like, I want them to succeed, and I want them to grow and be like, you know, better people. Like, that's what I want for everyone, I guess. But you know where I'm coming from. Like brands like Proper Beauty that I reviewed when they first came out, I'm really hoping that they're gonna have some more things as well, because those lipsticks are just so amazing. Maybe I'll actually wear one of those today. They're just so good, and they definitely deserve to have another hit, if we're gonna be honest. I just really love them. And then other brands that were really hyped, and then I don't feel like they're as hyped anymore, like JD Glow, for example. I was reviewing JD Glow probably during my first year on YouTube, and I also feel like some bigger indie brands, they don't really evolve. Like, they don't become, like, you know, you're a caterpillar and you evolve into something new. I feel like some brands, they start out with really exciting single shadows, and then they just keep doing really exciting single shadows, and that's fun. But maybe it's hard to continue to do really exciting single shadows if that's all you do 7 years later. Maybe you need to add other things as well and keep with the times, because like, and you probably have seen this as well, the way that the times are right now, it's that pre-made palettes are still very, very popular, but people are getting more and more into different formulas, but they still want them to be included into palettes. They want to see multichromes, they want to see toppers, they want to see sparkly metallics, not necessarily in singles unless they're in like a really fun single component. I feel like Vanessa Myricks has really been able to capture this, but they would rather see them included as like something in a palette, like the way the Pat McGrath or even Natasha Denona have been doing, and Vanessa Myricks as well, just including these special things, but still in a format that's like approachable to the everyday consumer that might not want to be on in the indie brands page. So am I in the phase right now of not being able to discover any new brands because I am afraid to jump in on something that might end up flopping on my channel? That might be it. That might be where I'm at on my channel. And I'll also tell you something else, and this is also a reason why sometimes I stay clear of those smaller indie brands. It's because I realize that I do have a voice. I realize that I do have a voice, and if I get something in PR, and I do decline a lot of PR from really smaller indie brands for this exact reason. If I get something in PR, or if I buy something, my customer service experience might not necessarily be your customer service experience, and sometimes some of these smaller brands might not be up to the task to handling the audience of a YouTuber that's, I mean, not even my size, like 50,000 subscribers or even bigger than me. And I have heard of indie brands that have totally collapsed under the pressure of the audience of a YouTuber that had a bigger audience than they were really ready for. And sometimes it is better to grow organically, not only as a makeup brand, but also as a YouTuber. Going viral overnight is not necessarily always the best thing. It can be really good to just grow organically. Just letting you know from what I've heard from around town. I really want to use some of this shimmery bronzer. This is the Fenty one. I hope mine is still holding together. Oh, it is. Mine is a little squished, but it's so pretty. But maybe I could be the person that still tries some of these smaller indie brands behind the scenes. Maybe I don't need to do first impressions on them. Maybe I can try them out, and then I can like let you know which ones are worth trying out and which ones are not. Maybe that could be something. I think that like me being like, oh, all indie brands are growing and all indie brands are becoming so mainstream and blah, it's a bit hypocritical of me to say, because I realized that with me growing, the brands that I liked also grew, and maybe I didn't pay enough attention to which ones were popping up as new. As also, and I will say, as also bigger influencers, much bigger than me, rarely pay attention to what YouTubers are popping up, what YouTubers are popular in the segment underneath them. And I try to make sure that I watch YouTubers that are both small and big, but sometimes I'll find a YouTuber that I've never heard of in my life, and they will have like 500 videos, and I've literally never heard of them in my life, and I'm like, how did I miss this person? Like, their channel is poppin', and I wonder if bigger YouTubers ever have that happen. So like, they find sometimes a YouTuber within their segment that is doing videos in the same segment as they are in, and they discover a YouTuber that has like literally 500,000 videos that they've never heard of, and they like, how did I miss this? Because I wonder sometimes, because I know that this is something that I used to talk about a lot when I was like smaller than I am right now, that bigger YouTubers, I don't think that they sometimes understand the impact that they can have on someone's channel if they give someone a shout out. But this is actually one of the things that I have with time noticed why they might not do a shout out. And it's because when you have a bigger audience and you shout out the channel, and that channel ends up being maybe having values that you may not 100% agree on, that also reflects on you. So sometimes it's better to not shout channels out before you actually know them more. And maybe this is the same with like indie brands. Sometimes it's better to stick with the brands that are a little bit more established when you yourself am a little bit more established, so that you don't end up getting burned and also in the process burning your audience. I'm gonna go and put on a Proper Beauty lipstick because I really wanted to. Let me go fetch one and then we can try that eyeshadow palette out. So this is Moxie. It is like a warm, almost like a pinky red. It is like if Charlotte Tilbury's Walk of No Shame had a warmer, more romantic pink undertone. It's like a wearable raspberry. That's what it is. I also do have a code with Proper Beauty. It's also Angelica and you can get 10%. I will leave all my codes and all the links and everything in the description box. This is such a nice color. Oh. Okay, so here's the thing. We're going into the eyeshadow portion. I'm not going to be talking that much about the eyeshadow, but I still want to do something pretty. I love the greens, and I think the greens together with this, because it is like a very iridescent, high shine greeny shade-ish. This is a multi-chrome. This is like a yellowy green peachy pink, and it's beautiful, but I think that this one will actually, I know, bear with me, I think it will look better with these shades because of the bright peach. So I'm thinking that I might start with the red. Okay, I have decided we're going with the red. I also have a brush here that's stained red, so don't tell Heather. She's always on me for having stained brush.
Don't tell her.
I want to do something simple, and this is also something that I want to get back to when it comes to like my channel and like what I do on my channel. I want to inspire. I feel like sometimes the word influencer gets such a bad rep, and I've said I have nothing against being called an influencer if it's for the reasons that I want to influence you. I want to influence you to try new color combos, to try new shapes on your eye makeup, to try a new kind of a lip color, to try maybe an indie brand, or to try something fun or exciting when it comes to color combos that you've never tried before. That's what I want to influence you to do. I don't necessarily want to influence you to spend your money unless you are actually in the market of looking for something. And I also realize that sometimes, you know, when buying something new and fun, it can be fun to get something new into your life and be like, oh, I'm so excited to be trying this out and to be wearing this and just, you know, have a little fun. So I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with adding something to your collection that you don't necessarily need just because it is a little bit fun. But I don't want you to go into debt or to put things on your credit card. That's not the kind of influencer I want to be. That's not what I want to do. So I put the red Bride just all over, and I'm gonna use this one that's called So Strange. And I think I'm just gonna see if I can deepen this up a little bit and use a little bit of that out here. I will say that this palette might miss something that's like deep enough for me, but I might add that afterwards. It's not that hard to just add things. It is just not that deep. But I'm gonna layer a little bit of this purple as well, just to get some definition in the crease, and then we're gonna go in with the Unusual. I actually really like those two colors together, even though I wish that this purple was a little bit darker. I still love how it looks together. I think these match super well. Okay, I'm gonna use a glitter glue. This is the Glimmer Grasp. This is also from Unearthly Cosmetics, and I kind of want to just see how intense I can get this one with, like, I just want to give this a try. It was so long ago since I used the glitter glue. Like, I can't even remember the last time. I will say, like, the NYX glitter glue and the e.l.f. glitter glue, now that I have this hood that, like, I've gotten with age, dog is being dramatic, they crease on me. So let's see how this one is. I would love to get some suggestions. Oh, I don't know if it comes off on camera, like how intense this one is. I'm kind of having the feeling it doesn't, but this is like the most intense, fiery, yellowy, peachy. It's like truly mesmerizing. I would love to get some suggestions of brands that you would, like smaller brands that you would wish that I would discover. And I'm not gonna probably do any kind of dedicated videos, but I might end up shopping from them, trying them, and then maybe doing some kind of a collected video of my like favorites, of the stuff that I thought like really stood out. And I don't want you to feel discouraged if the ones that I am recommending to you do not get showcased, because it could be of something as simple as they're not my favorite, or it's not something that I want to recommend to my viewers. Like, it could be for so many different reasons. I mean, sometimes we just have different taste when it comes to makeup. That's actually more common than I think that some people realize. But like, I would love to not be the hypocrite that talks about like the indie community changing so much when I in fact changed with the community. But I also realized that I can't just be making videos on brands that might have like 20 things in stock, because that could also end up being kind of a mess. The look is done and I really like how this is looking, although I will say that I think that this is another one of those glitter primers that crease on me. I just have too heavy of a hood. It just doesn't work when you have that much of an aging hood as I do. I have like hooded eyes, but instead of being out here, it's like in here. You see that? Yeah, that's age. And it's okay. It's totally fine. It's just I need to think about what I put and what I don't put in my little hood. I like the makeup that I did today. I really did like this palette, and I didn't even deepen up with anything. I just kept it like purple out there, and I really like how the purple and red work together, especially with that super fiery like multi-chrome shadow. It is so pretty. But yeah, give me some suggestions of brands that you feel could be the next thing. What are brands that you feel, even though nobody talks about them, they have the potential to be the next thing? Because we all have that, like what could be the next thing? Because like there are brands that have started out super small and that I have followed from somewhat the beginning. Oden's Eye, Kaleidos, Juvia's Place, Melt. I mean, I did review the Melt stacks back in the day. And I'm not saying that I'm part of any of that. Of course not. It's just that I've been along with them, alongside seeing them grow and just being excited about all the like improvements that they've made and all the steps they've taken to become the bigger and cooler brands that they are today. What do you think is the next thing? Like, I don't want to miss the train just because I'm having tunnel vision on some of the brands that I already love. So give me some thoughts down in the comments, and if you see someone giving a suggestion that you really agree on, don't forget to give that suggestion a thumbs up and leave a comment, because that's how it gets to the top. If you have any other subjects that you would like me to talk about regarding the makeup industry or the indie industry or the makeup community here on YouTube or being a creator, I love discussing stuff like this, not because I am a pro. It's not about me telling you how it really is. It's about me telling my side of the story. Because even though I am not the biggest YouTuber, and even though I'm not the most successful makeup reviewer, and even though I don't know everything that's going on in the makeup industry, I still have a point of view, and I love discussing it because I also love hearing what other people think about this. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!